Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. Hello, extraordinary jurors of eCONDEV 2024 Open Educational Resources OER Competition Students category. So welcome to an exciting journey where students from primary school to university showcase their skills in creating powerful OER, open educational resources. So your role as the jury is to find the best of the best while keeping in mind the different age group of participants. Because yes, some of our OER creators are still mastering their ABCs, right? So ready, let's jump in. So let's go through the basics. Yeah, for OER category, there are two basic categories. We have the educators category and also the students category. So in this particular video, we will be focusing on the students category. But before we begin, a quick reminder. Our participants range from primary school to university level. That means you'll be seeing a wide range of work, from simpler projects created by young learners to a more sophisticated entries by older students. So, as the jury, it is important to adjust your expectation based on their age. So let's celebrate their creativity and efforts regardless of the complexity level. So are you ready to embrace the brilliance at every age? So let's get into it. Now, for the OER category, we have 6 criteria. We have the content quality, accessibility and usability, educational value, originality and creativity, potential impact, and lastly, presentation. So we are going to look into each criteria in order for you to be able to assess the OER accordingly. So first up, content quality. So here we want to see materials that are accurate, relevant, and cover the topic comprehensively. Whether it is about learning, the planets, or advanced calculus, here's what to keep an eye out for. So the first one is relevance. So as a jury, you have to check whether does the material match the curriculum or subject being taught. Is it age appropriate? And does it connect to what learners need, right? So that's the first one. Number two, we're going to look at the accuracy, right? So this is the second part. Ask questions such as, has the content been checked for factual accuracy, either by peers or by the instructors? So if there is evidence of that, so you can give them marks accordingly. Now, this is especially so for younger students. You look for guided content that ensures that basically they are sharing accurate information. So you have to ask the participants regarding the accuracy of their content, right? The third one is depth. Does the material provide enough detail? Especially for primary students, it may be basic, but for older students, you want to see a deep dive, like deep Olympic dive into the subject. So your task as the jury is to find evidence of quality, no matter the age. Yeah? Look for the materials that actually aligns with learning goals and provide accurate, relevant content. So the weightage for content quality is 30%. Now, let's move on to accessibility and usability. So this is all about making sure the resources can be accessed and used by a wide range of learners. So here's what to look for. The first one is open licensing. Is the OER clearly labeled with open license? Even the youngest participants should show awareness of how their resources can be shared and adapted by others. Yeah, and then we're going to look at format and compatibility. Does the resource work on different devices? Is it easy for learners to access the materials on their phone, tablets, or computers? Right, and then a bonus mark if the participants can show that the OER consider universal design. So here is where the participants have to show the resources are designed to be accessible to diverse learners. So this diverse learners, including those with disabilities. Yeah. So this might be a trickier for younger students, but for older students, so it is actually a valuable bonus. So please do not penalize the younger students if they don't understand what universal design is. Yeah. Now, as the jury, spot the evidence of accessibility. We want to see OER or IOER that everyone can use, whether they are primary school or college, no matter what devices they're on. Yeah. So the weightage for accessibility and usage is 20%. Next is we're going to talk about educational value. So here we are looking for OER that have a clear learning outcomes and basically are designed to engage different learning styles. So as the jury, these are the things that you are going to check out. Yeah. First is learning outcomes. So are the goals of the resource clear? Are the goal of the OER clear? Do we know what the learners is expected to achieve from the OER, right? So you have to ask that question. And then we're going to look at pedagogical design. So is the material designed to promote active learning and engagement? So even for the younger students, yeah, they can actually show this by including fun activities or interactive elements. And then we have to look into the alignment process, yeah. Alignment. Does the resource aligns with educational standards or framework? And for older students, this alignment becomes even more important. So they have to understand the alignment between the OER and the educational standards or framework suitable for their levels. And then as the jury, obviously you have to find proof of learning, whether it's a fun game for learning colors or interactive module on biology. So you have to look for evidence that learners are gaining actually valuable skills and also knowledge. So for educational values, this constitutes 20% of the total marks. Now, let's turn our attention to originality and creativity. So this is where our young geniuses really shines, yeah? So here's what you need to focus on. First is uniqueness. You have to ask whether the resources or the OER offer a new perspective or approach that we don't actually see in the standard textbook. So basically, we're looking for fresh ideas, yeah? So even though it is not like something totally vanguard or totally new, so it can be something that it is there, but it was presented in such a way that it feels like new. So that is something that you have to look into, yeah? And then we're going to look at the creative presentation. Creative presentation here is not referring to the actual presentation, but is referring to the presentation of the OER itself, yeah? So are the OER resources visually appealing and innovative? So even for the young students, they can actually surprise us with their creativity through like fun illustrations or engaging multimedia. So as the jury, you have to spot for creativity. I do understand creativity can be in the eye of beholder. It can be different, but yes, we trust your discernment. Yeah, just spot the creativity, whether it is an like imaginative way to teach numbers or like visually striking resources on the solar system. So we want to see creativity at every level. So for this particular criteria, it constitutes 10% of the total marks. Next up, potential impact. So this is about how widely these resources can be used and also adaptable across different settings. So here are what to consider. First one is scalability. Can this OER be used by many learners or being scaled? Can this OER be scaled across like different educational institutions? But for younger participants, this might mean like more something simple. Can this OER be scaled to use in many classrooms, right? So might be the students design the OER for himself or for him and his friends. So can the OER be used like to like more different classrooms, right? Or more basically more user. All right, and then adaptability. Can the OER be customized? Yeah, adaptability is talking about customizable. Can the OER be customized for different learning contexts? For example, can a primary school game be adapted to different languages or cultures? Can it be done? So if there is proof of that, so you can give them marks accordingly. And then we look into effectiveness. So the question is the OER clearly helping learners understand the key concept or skills? So if there is evidence of that, then by all means give them marks. All right, and then look for engagement. So engagement here is including features or activities that includes active participation from peers. So remember, OER must be placed at platform or in platforms that is open. All right, it's not something that you keep on your own, and if people wants it, they have to like go to you through you. So if that is the case, that is not OER. So the name open itself indicating that the OER must be available and must be able to be searched using search engine. So the engagement factors can be seen through, like say, for example, they upload it through YouTube. So you can see through comments, the number of comments or the number of likes in YouTube. So if let's say they upload it into SlideShare, you can see the number of likes, the hearts, right? And also comments as well. If let's say they're using Powtoon, a new, not a new, is animation tools. So if they use Powtoon, they upload it in the Powtoon platform. So that actually engagement in the sense of you can actually like the Powtoon and also basically comment on the Powtoon. So those are the evidences that you're going to look into in terms of engagement. So as the jury, remember to find the evidence of impact. Yeah, look for materials that can go beyond the classroom and benefit a wide range of learners. So for potential impact, it constitutes 10% of the total marks. Next is lastly, yeah, we have the presentation and communication. So for this part, this is about how clearly and effectively the student present their OER to you. So let's break this down, yeah. So the first one is developers understanding. Does the student, or in this case participant, demonstrate an understanding of why OER are important? So even the younger learners, yeah, they can actually explain why sharing is the key. So basically, for OER, the key is sharing. Why sharing is important. So maybe you can actually like arrange the question in such a way that the younger ones actually understands what the question is. If not, they're going to have like a bit difficult time to answer it. And then we're going to look into licensing and copyright. So ask them whether are the correct open license being used. Do the students show awareness of how Creative Commons and other licenses are being used? Yeah. And then we're going to look at the organization of the presentation. Is the presentation organized in a logical flow? Can you, as the jury, easily navigate the presentation? So if you can, then good to go. Right? And then lastly, clarity of message. So is the OER appropriate for the learner's age group and being clearly communicated to you? So if that is the case, give them marks accordingly. Yeah? So again, your job as the jury is to spot for clarity. So we want to see resources that are well organized with a clear message, easy to understand, whether it's for primary school or university level. Yeah. So for presentation and communication, the weightage is 10%. So that's it, you amazing jurors. You are now fully equipped to evaluate the wonderful creations of our young OER developers. Actually, I'm very excited because we have primary school students coming in as participants, but actually, I'm actually quite afraid as well, just a bit wary. But I trust you guys. I trust those wonderful, wonderful juries you are, so you can actually evaluate their work accordingly. So as the jury, remember, you'll be looking for evidence of quality, creativity, impact, and also accessibility. But don't forget to consider the age of the participants. Primary students will bring something like different than older students, but both are equally valuable. Right? So let's find those standout resources or open education resources and celebrate the next generation of innovative thinkers. So good luck, juries. Have fun and have fun exploring their works. Bye.